I want you to go back. I want you to go back with me right now. And if you have to close your eyes or focus your senses on my voice, and what you see on the screen. And I want you to go back with me. I want you to go back to your earliest childhood memory. Try to access that with me right now. Your earliest childhood memory. Maybe you can go all the way back to what we would consider an infant, but your earliest one. And I'll give you 13 seconds of sound here to let you go back there. And I want you to stay there with me. Okay? So are you back there? I want you to see that childhood memory of yours and look at that person. Look at that young human being that was you, that is you, that will become you. And that memory, your earliest childhood memory with me right now, whatever it is, and whatever has come up, I want you to say something to that early version of you. Quote, I am here to take care of you. I am here to give you whatever you need. I am here to support you. I am here with you. And what you're feeling, whatever that may be, I am here to help and guide you with your feelings. and I love you. Look at the earliest version of yourself and reach out. And if you can connect, give that early version of you a great big hug. This is the beauty of being human. We can go back. We can go back to the past, to the memory to the pattern, to the root, and nurture and feed and protect ourselves. And it comes full circle to right now at this moment. I mean, look at yourself. Touch your hands. You can embrace yourself and give yourself a hug and embrace. Just like to your earliest memory. They'll bring the math into it and talk about time travel and quantum physics and the math of it all. And it's all beautiful, that. But you cannot logically calculate a memory. And what memories do and what they carry. But memories can change. And memories are the path and the vehicle to change and evolution. But in order to know what we want or where to go, we gotta go back. That's the astrologer's life, that's for sure. Going back, looking now, going forward. But it's also the human path. So, the earliest memory of you. We are open and receptive to the root, to feed, nurture, and protect. And you have just taken one step to changing your story now. This Gemini here is like after the wild 2 weeks. A Mercury in Gemini, Venus in Gemini, Venus with the Sun, Venus with Jupiter, Mercury with Jupiter, Moon in Gemini, balsamic, into a new moon in Gemini. Saturn squaring that, giving you the hint of the future. And here we are. Yes, there's less than a week left of Gemini birthdays. Right now, Mercury, last degrees of Gemini. Venus, last degrees of Gemini. Entering a new place in less than 24 hours. So the mental, the logic, the beauty of having Mercury and Gemini ruling all this Gemini stuff, I love it. But even me, Mr. Gemini, know that you can only do it for so long. Because you get in your head and you multiply and compute. And there's genius and magic in the duality and the complexity of all that. But you can't be living in your head all the time. Hence, wait a second. What do I feel about all this? What am I feeling? So for those of you who have been influenced by these Gemini transits, we're walking to this place in less than 24 hours. What am I feeling? Is that the ultimate question after all the questions and inquiries and socialization of Gemini to get to this final question? What am I feeling? Do I feel? How do I feel? What my brain, my brain is asking what I'm feeling. So I'm not in my feeling. What am I doing? What am I feeling? This in between place, this is a different in between place. I mean, I'm Hermes. I'm in between places all the time. I know this, but I don't know this answer to this question of what am I feeling So I had to go back to the past. I got a little homework assignment for you people. You go find a picture like this from your world and go back to the past. What am I feeling? What's up? See what zone I've been in the last 3 days? You see how I'm rolling? I don't fuck around. I could say that about myself. I don't fuck around. I could be the most trickster of them all, and I just did it to you. And you're right here with me, but I don't fuck around. With my smile or my seriousness? No. This is the Pluto motherfucker you're dealing with. I'm dealing with. It takes courage to go do something and go to the past or go to the earliest memory, because every single one of us have a whatever past and whatever memories and how we grew up or what it was supposed to be and what it wasn't, or what it was. It takes something to do it. Go find the picture. Do it in the next month. Go back. And this is the most difficult thing for some people, because we spend a lot of our lives or certain things running away, running from the past. I'm not, but it happens that way. I know this through client sessions. I know this through friends, through my own life. There's certain things I've run from the past. Sometimes people, they run from everything. Created a whole new something because they had to survive, and at that moment and from now until then and everything in between, they had to do whatever it took to take care of themselves and nurture themselves. It was a survival thing. It was an instinctual thing. It is that thing. But if you can find your place of safety and security and a place of where you're rooted there, maybe then. And maybe you have already gone to the past and found your youngest self and connected and nurtured and fed that person. That is my theme for this weekly live stream and for the rest of this week and for the interesting couple weeks afterwards. But we have a transition. The beautiful one that happens between Gemini and Cancer, and the way we will do it in the next 7 days. What's up, y'all? I'm Sparkles of Gold. If you've never been here before, I'm straight up Nicholas right here. I'm straight up, this is what you're getting. This is what it is. There ain't nothing else. There ain't nothing else but this fucking flesh and bones and my wild mind and my crazy heart and an owl. So, let's get to it. I'm just going to go off the bat here. I see Kelly K with a foxy super chat that is happening here with Kelly K, thank you for the abundant, beautiful super chat donation that you just dropped on me. So I could keep doing what I just did in the last whatever minutes amount, the last 24 minutes of what I came in with intention, but what I do on the fly, what I do as best as a Gemini, you know what I mean? What grounded with Pluto involved, everything. Kelly K, thank you for the super chat right there. And let's just bust it on the screen because I don't think people can even see what the hell's going on sometimes. And there's a big old fox, and I got to adjust something here, by the way. Let's do it this way. There's a big old fox sitting right over there, jumping in space, like off a trampoline, it looks like. And Kelly, you rock. Thank you. I'm seeing the crew here. I'm seeing Mila and Devin and Jay Peterson. Tara, what's up? Stephanie King and Scorpio Muse. Mandy Bailey. Darlene says intense. What did you expect? What did you get? What you get here, man? What you getting? You're getting this. And then I want to say, K. Michelle to Esmeralda to Yelena. Hello, and Titi and X needed this exercise. I keep doing that. We got more of that coming this week. So Esmeralda Amandita, GME is in the house and in the chat. And Palmer Paint, what's up? Is this what the fuck or what? It is. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Jendi, hello. I get everybody here. K says, Nicholas, you're pure magic, you know. I'm all in. I'm all in. Steffi G, what's up? Kelly K, thank you for the super chat. CC99, good to see you back to your old username. And Kelly K, I think I got everybody. There's no running, huh? There's no running. The hell do I got going on over here? This is a chart on the screen. I got to get my angle situated because it looks like I'm looking at the screen. What I'm really looking at is this different screen that makes it look like the screen you're looking at. Isn't that funny how I did that? That was my first thing I did live stream 2 years ago. It's how I did this thing. It took me days to like get my directional thing down. I'll never forget it. I'm working on that. And I've stuck to it. Okay, so I still might have to adjust something here. And if I look straight, give me a second. Maybe you're going to do a little bit of this. Okay, so this is 4:48. We're going to go to now. When did I start this stream? I started it at 5:30 something. I want to point out something here. Why partly I started this stream in that, because it was going into a Scorpio ascendant, and I was trying to decide whether to do Aquarius or Libra ascendant, but I went Scorpio ascendant because of my own chart. In particular, by the way, I just went to here. Right now, we are at 15 degrees Scorpio ascendant where I am. That happens to be my ascendant degree in Taurus. So this is my descendant degree. I just happened to do that, but it's not the reason why I did this. Part of the reason today has to do with the moon in Libra. And it's right here at the South Node here today, touching the eclipse story. For the last year now, we've been doing these eclipses. That started off last spring, not this spring, but the spring before, with a 29-degree Aries eclipse that happened to start off this stuff. And it happened to be a month where there was 2 new moons in Aries. It was like a 0 degree. I remember the 0 degree one happened like on the equinox. And it was a special day because some people in the astrological magic world did something on that 0 degree equinox day. They did a lot of baking. And there's this point here. And for the interesting ways, we haven't given Libra a lot of props here because of these eclipses, because of a lot of stuff that's happened in relation to the South Node, right? But here, I did it on purpose because there's, in one sense, a grand air trine happening here with this moon and its movement through at 14 degrees. And we have these Gemini planets still here, right? Jupiter's going to be there for the year, but we got, 4.5 more days of Gemini Sun. Mercury and Venus leave tomorrow to go into Cancer. And then we have, in the beginning of all this, the moon going in basically into the weekend. We have Pluto and Aquarius. So in a sense, Libra moon started off with a grand air trine with, let me clear these damn arrows out. And let me do something else that I like to do on here because I'll bring it back. I'm going to go to a blank aspect chart and do it here. So basically earlier, there's the moon trine to Jupiter and there's the moon trine to Pluto, and then they have this. And so this is some serious good air stuff, and Libra hasn't been getting the props it deserves here the last years. But we got to understand this now, that part of this old eclipse story that's happening with the South Node in Libra, and what will happen until we get into the next round of eclipses that start later this year with Virgo and Pisces. You know, Libra South Node has been through a lot of stuff, and we'll have some more, especially when Mars will go into Cancer in September to continue this cardinal story, right? But in one sense, it's a foreshadowing of what air can do this weekend, and the openness and the sometimes the disconnectedness from certain intense things, and how we can rise above and look down upon. And so we have this because soon in our next generation here, we're going to do a lot of outer body air stuff. We're going to do Uranus in Gemini with Pluto in Aquarius, with fire planets, Neptune and Saturn being in fire in Aries. And there's going to be a 2.5-year run of a lot of outer body planets, in a sense, sextiling and trining each other. And so here we have the moon in a grand air trine this weekend before we start to enter the watery realms of Cancer. Okay, so part of the reason why I did this, I need to find my chat window because I don't know where the hell I did with it, because I like to keep track of what the hell's going on. I'll pop this out like this, and so I could see it, and I hope it refreshes. So, but you know, I chose Scorpio because of part of my chart too. So there's a balance of why I did this. Okay. Also, I thought about streaming yesterday during a Mercury Sun deal. I thought about it, but I didn't because I wasn't ready. But I did. Since the new moon in Gemini, all the way till now, I have been in a new moon way with my Gemini. And there's been some immediacy. If you look at the last 3 or 4 streams that I did, it was wild Gemini stuff on purpose, by the way. But there's other things behind the scenes here that I was working on, I'm still working on, and that I am initiating. And because I'm taking the long road with this stuff. So anyway, I thought about yesterday, but I wasn't quite ready. But what I was ruminating on was, I had my birthday this week on Wednesday. It's always weird birthdays for me. It's a mix of everything. But I was thinking about time and memory. And so it brought me to the place of the way I started this stream and what was going on and what will happen. So let's do this. Let's go into the forecast and talk about it. I want to, thanks for rolling with me. Gracias, mamá, para la foto. So yeah, Cancer birthdays, but we're not there yet. Let's do it. Let's go to the first thing. I want to, we're going to go to mañana. We're going to the 16th here since we're going to do it this way. And we're going to go to the first aspect, which we're happening right now. And it has to do with Venus and Gemini at the last degrees. You can already see it up on the screen. I mean, let's just point it out. Let's do it. We see Neptune here at 29 degrees currently, and we see Venus at 28. We have a waxing square happening here between Venus and Neptune. And it's interesting what's happened with the Gemini story here, that at the very end of the Gemini transits for this Gemini season, everything has to go through Saturn and really Neptune at the end. And that was what's happening here, is we have a Venus-Neptune square, a mutable square happening. And, this is some dramatic shit, actually. It could be very dramatic and very confusing for those, let's say, who have been dealing in the Gemini realm or the relational end with the multifacetedness and the multi-relationships and sociability of Venus and Gemini, the different irons, mental irons in the fire and the way of relating that way. That's with Mercury too. Sort of a kind of an interesting thing here that's happened with Mercury coming out of the sun. But we get into an illusionary place here. And part of this weekend, it's part of why I was trying to use sound and visual here of the clouds to actually use this filtering way to almost, it's funny, to move into the Cancer realm by going into the past. You see what I'm saying? I went to the past, now into the future, but I did it in this Gemini type of way. And so, that's hey Angela, I see you in chat. I will check out chat here. But yeah, so I want to check this Venus Neptune square. Got to be careful with stuff like this, because it's like there's fabrication happening and illusions, and if it's in a relational thing, maybe you got some weirdo Gemini who's been flirting with you who doesn't have his Gemini shit together, and he's like saying all types of stuff he has been and whatever, and he's thinking he has it together and he's working it, but we see through it, or maybe you don't see through it. Maybe eventually you see through it after the imaginative situations that are coming through the word and through the relation that isn't really what it is, but damn, does it sure come across good. But I think with the Venus Neptune square, it is shown, and it can be, and it can get lost in the illusions of love and the relational activity and so on and so forth. Now, the other side of this is, and the way I'm using it, and I did on the beginning of the stream, was to find a creative artistic outlet to use the square between Venus and Neptune. And actually, let me just make it official, like to the right chart. And we'll do it because you know me. I do it this way. And I will do that later. We're going to go here, and we're going to go to the aspect. We're going to go Venus. Here, I'm going to do it so you could see it. Venus squares, not Saturn, but Neptune. We already did Saturn. So we go, boom. Whoa. That's Neptune square Venus. Huh? What? Jumped ahead again. So here it is officially at 8:46 p.m. on Sunday Pacific time on the 16th. You have the official square. This is some interesting stuff here. There it is right there with Mercury too, because not officially with Mercury, but it's happening. But at the very end of this, you look what the Libra moon's doing. It's kind of like it's sort of trying to help out here. And we're looking to where Venus is. So here we do have this Moon-Venus thing going on to help kind of remediate the square. And I think it's good. Again, I think being creative and artistic and using that in a sense to deal with the elusiveness and the drama that happens between Venus, Neptune, and the confusion that could happen, that we want to move through this in a way where... honestly, this is delusional type of shit. So like it could get that way, and we want to move through the delusion, right, of Venus Neptune. Now, maximum rising. Hello, I see you in chat también. So that is one way to look at this. The other thing is Neptune will dissolve anything that it touches or wants to and wash away something. And that is the other way I'm looking at this, because of what's happening going into the Cancer story of Venus and Mercury. Is in one sense, Neptune it seems it's a challenging square, but it is washing away maybe some of what happens mentally and how we can get deluded mentally, or how Gemini can, with too many things that have been started, too many avenues, and what is true and what is not, and getting lost, or it needs to be, Saturn will corral that. Neptune dissolves that. And so that is what I've been thinking about, is the dissolving of that, but as a ritualistic situation, so it can go in and enter in the watery realms and the secure realms, or at least seeking safety through relations of Cancer. So that is happening here at the late degrees, at 29 degrees. And I wrote here, what did I write? I wrote lost in illusions of love, mind stories are delusional. I said that, not grounded. And I highlighted drama and confusion. So at the same time, I mean, sometimes it's good to get caught up in a little bit of that if you're charmed a certain way. I mean, you ever been charmed by a Gemini? I charm myself every day. and sometimes it's bad news, is the charming is of myself is in a way it could be ignoring other things. So at the other times it's like again, remediation is key, and the vessels used and the tools are used with squares. There's a challenge with a square 90-degree aspect between planets, and something has to change. Something has to change with a square. Use creativity and your artistic abilities or whatever that is to do that. So so that's what's up right there. That happens. Did I say 8:46 p.m.? I did. And then that's within hours. We're going into like less than 3 hours of this aspect that is happening ahora right now. We are going to go into, I keep pressing that button. We are going to an ingress of Venus into Cancer at 11:20 p.m. Pacific. We're already into the 17th here for many people all over the world. East Coast, other side of the world, we're there. And so let's point this out. Here now Venus is entered, right? Cancer, it's sitting right there. And just left that Neptunian place. Just kind of had a little bath. went to Poseidon temple and had a little bath, Selene temple. You could look at this many different ways, but Aphrodite's like, okay, it's time to connect in a different kind of way, and to harmonize in a different kind of way, and now it's not here. I like Venus Gemini with Mercury and Gemini. I'm bonding with you here. I'm bonding mind to mind. We're open, different angles. Look at my hands. Feel this? So it's like that kind of thing. But we get in the Venus and Cancer, and it's a different bonding. It's an emotional bonding and an emotional etiquette that's involved here, and the way, and everything starts to slow and doesn't have the rapidness, even though it's by speed. We could look at planetary speed, but we won't do that. But we're talking about the way the interactions are happening. Venus is slowing down here. In a cardinal sign, you don't hear slow down, but it's initiating a different kind of pace that gives space and safety for emotional content and processing and relating. Not at the speed and the multifacetedness and the mutableness of Gemini. It's concentrated here. So we have this entering here of this bonding sentimental place and the way we do it. And if you're going to take anything from this next week, it's the word security that you should take in and understand for yourself. Whether it has to do with the new moon, the full moon that's going to happen later the week in Capricorn, right? What Capricorn and Cancer have in common is how they find and deal with what security is. Capricorn's going to do it in a Saturnian way, and then there's the moon way of Cancer. But they're on the same thread, right? So anyway, we're dealing with security here, whether the lack of or the need for or having it, and what happens in those situations. And Venus and Cancer is going to maneuver its way through that, depending. That's just I don't know if we call it textbook kind of stuff. But again, security, the maternal vibes, the protection, stuff I was talking about in the beginning of this stream. So Venus enters Cancer. It's looking for that place. Wherever you have Cancer in your chart, I would think about it in a sense of like a family that you have either come to depend on or like. And when I say family in quotes. It might not necessarily be your family, but what you consider that to be for yourself, or what that is. And so, can one, if Venus in Cancer was running on all cylinders, it would have a family that it is a part of. This is very important what I'm going to say to you. And tends to, right, optimally feels connected to, and if it was running on all cylinders and it was secure and safe, there is a loyalty involved in there. There's a type of family loyalty, a little mafia loyalty, you know what I mean? Like here, regardless of what you said or did, we forgive you. You're always going to be family. Like, again, family shit is some of the most complex stuff that we deal with in our lives. We can have situational stuff happening with family, the same kind of situation happen with friends, whatever, and it's not the same thing. It never is. It's loaded. It is loaded. Now, again, it depends on your situations here, but in the end, Venus in Cancer, it running, creates, wants security, thrives in that, and nurtures in that, and in a sense is secure and bonded there, and is there with that pacing that we can process our emotions, be in our place, and move through in that area and space that Venus in Cancer creates and tends to, and whatever. One more thing I will say to this is, and this is a conversation that came up with someone close to me. And it just happened to come up while I've been thinking about this for the last couple days, right? So let me do this because you don't just stare at this. Let me just go to my face. So, it came up and the conversation led to a certain place. And it reminded me of something. And I don't know if you guys know what tamagachis are. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see. You're not going to see. Let me see. Yeah, okay. I'll show you what it is right now, okay? All right, so here's Tamagotchi. This came out, looks like the first ones it said came out in the late 90s, 1996, right? Well, we don't want to do that. We want to, I wish I could, let me see. I'm going to try something for the first time here on a stream. I'm going to zoom in. Yes. Okay, here's a Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi is a brand of a handheld digital pets that was created in Japan 96, came to the States in 97. And I don't know if people who knew this or were living around that time was crazy. Like you have them on your keychains, and basically it was like the first, like you have to take care of your Tamagotchi, like this little character, this thing, you have to feed it, take care of it, and or else certain things would happen, and you had to take care of it, nurture it, and do stuff, right? So this kind of thing came up with my friend. I came up with a Tamagotchi, but it was more about like what you're taking care of and tending to, like a pet, right? Or something that you care about and love. And even there's tough love involved there. And there's all these types of nurturing or whatever. And then sometimes you got to give the pet or the Tamagotchi space or whatever to do its thing. But still you're there in support of really whether the young person pet or the Tamagotchi understands or not. We are nurturing and feeding and tending to. And so I'm bringing this up as in a certain metaphor of looking at Venus and Cancer and anything in Cancer. And soon here, when I look at Mercury and Cancer, when we're talking, also the word and communication and silence and listening that goes in hand. And we'll get to that in a second because that's where I'm leading to. But hey, Erica, good to see you drop in the chat. I know you'll check things out later. I'm just acknowledging you. So anyway, a Tamagotchi, right? I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if this came back. Here's my prediction. If this came back during the Mars and Cancer retrograde that's going to happen at the end of this year, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, in the beginning of next year, but then when Jupiter goes in out of Gemini next year and goes into Cancer, that we have certain funny things like this, they're going to come up. Right? And I should pull the chart up of this. What's it say was released in November 23rd, 96. Let's do it. Let's just fucking do it because that's what we do here. November 23rd, 1996. And I'll leave it in Portland and I'll do it like that. And we'll just say Tama. And let's just calculate it. So all right, let's just take a look at this. Okay, so they launched it on the Sag. Let's just look at the Sag, whatever. I see Taurus moon, different part of the world. Oh, look at. Okay, check this out. So we have Saturn retrograde in Aries. So we're basically next year when Jupiter goes into Cancer, that's when Saturn will actually be in Aries, retrograde at these degrees with Neptune, by the way. So this Tamagotchi is having their Saturn return next year. I didn't even look at this. I'm just looking at it right now. And by the way, look at Uranus at that time was at 0 degree Aquarius. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just went on a tangent there. Tamagotchi. You got to feed them. You got to take care of them. You got to take care of your pet. You got to do your thing. Nurture and support and protection and our loyalty to family and to the person, or not, Venus in Cancer. Let's throw one more word in, the sentimentalness of it all, right? And the past and family and memory. Okay, a lot of keywords of Cancer here. And let's go back to the charts. I wanted to throw that out at you. I know I'm checking out what's happening in chat. Hey, Ray Weather, I see my niece has one. They have a pause button now. Oh, look at Stephanie King says in chat, to celebrate the 20th anniversary starting from July 9th, Tuesday 2024 in the July 9th during Cancer birthdays. This is wild. In the US, the revival mantle of the Tamagotchi connection. 6 types will be. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's wild. Do I have to get one now? I can't even take care of my... You see what I'm saying? Hope you caught what I just did. Venus goes into Cancer. 11:20 p.m. June 16th into the 17th, and we have that in 17 minutes later the moon goes into Scorpio. So we have a moon trine. Let's do it really quick because I got to start breezing my way here. I'm at a slower pace today, by the way, and I'm doing this on purpose because if you know what the hell I'm really paying attention how I do shit. Let's just go an hour ahead from here. And there it is. We'll look at the moon in Scorpio here. That's like into the next day. And you got this moon Venus trine right off the bat. And that's what Venus is coming in with into the 17th. And on the 17th here, we can already see it. I'm on screen. I'll just do it right now. No, let's do it precise. So let's do it right here. We're going to go aquí. And we're going to go to our buddy Mercury, who's been on a journey. Man, I'm going to miss you leaving Gemini, dude. God, my life. You wouldn't believe what's run through my mind personally, like secretly on a level my last so many weeks. It's been incredible. It's been fucking incredible. And you got to know when the downloads come. I know when the downloads come. And then you don't just profess the download on socials. I kind of did with streams, but the rest of it, 70% of it, I'm not said out loud. And it's going to come out in other ways. But you got to recognize the Mercury and Gemini downloads of what happens. So anyway, here is the... no, that's not what we're doing. We're going Mercury ingresses into Cancer. There at 2. Really? No, that is wrong. Why is it? It's giving me 2. No, 2. Oh, no. First things first, Nicholas. That's what I'm looking at. We're going boom right there. And no. What the? Hold on a second. I'm frustrated here. The 17th is este momento. That's why. There it is. So here is the Mercury-Neptune square now that happens officially at 29 degrees, and there is Neptune there. You can see why I was getting confused because of the Venus thing. So within hours, it's like it's within 4 to 5 hours, we have Venus square Neptune, then Mercury square Neptune here. And so that's where we get there. And now, after the drama and confusion, the illusionary stuff with Venus Neptune, but then we would talk about remediations through artistic endeavors and creative outlets to deal with the weird seductive quality of Neptune Venus. Mercury comes in and has to really deal with deception of the mind and what that is or not. So we have this continuing story that goes into the beginning of the week, and is more fantasy of the mind. You know, this is what happens. the imagination run wild, you know. Okay, that's cool, but if there's a story here of what is right, what is legit and what's not, or what's real or what's not, or what is fact and what's not, this is where it gets blurred and where we have to deal with delusions of this. But again, to go back to the way I was talking about Venus going through Neptune to go into Cancer, Mercury's doing this too. I think it's getting some stuff dissolved. And one way we look at the dissolving of what is not legit and real to bring into Mercury and Cancer, and there's the actual delusion too, and the too much logic, right? And Neptune can wipe away the too much logic part. At the same time, we have to remember and be careful of confusion and I called it the leaky truth here. It's not solid because Neptune is doing that. Now, in one way too, we can remember though that Venus and Mercury in Gemini did go through squares with Saturn. So this isn't all effed up. And I think Saturn has made a mark on the new moon and Mercury and Venus. And so that Saturnian stamp and influence and Saturn and Pisces stamp is on these planets as they go through Neptune. So let's just point that out, okay? I'm just, you know me, I like to talk about my street view of doing astrology and the different angles of this. But anyway, Mercury's going through Neptune here. And then it's within less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours, we will go to the ingress that happens right here. Now I have it at 2:06 a.m. is here. We have the ingress of Mercury now in Cancer, conjunct Venus, right? Now, check this out. We looked at earlier, the moon's there. Now we have this Mercury entering the thing here, and it's like, I think here it's not I think, it's I feel, is how would we transmit and communicate the way that we feel, right? And, you know, the logic goes out the door, and it's about feeling and empathy and compassion. If I'm going to stay positive about this and not the dark side of it, but how we communicate in that way. And I think a lot of it has to do with pacing and listening. So not saying Mercury and Gemini can listen. I think they can when they're balanced. I think that's actually a major part of Mercury and Gemini is actually the way of listening. And I could tell you as a Mercury Gemini Aldebaran person, and that's partile my Uranus, exactly that the best flow I've ever had, or I have when my Mercury and Gemini is going, it actually has to do with awareness and listening. It's not the communicative part that I do here. It's a talent, a gift. I know it, but a lot of it's listening. It's understanding that those moments of the absorption. So then things can be processed and filtered and then come out through the word or whatever else. But when we get into this place here, it just changes, you know, and we're dealing with not logical. We're dealing with a slower pace, an empathetic pace, a compassionate place, and attending to here that even I think happens with Mercury in Cancer, and attending to what am I feeling? I mean, it's pretty much the reason why I had the graphic up is this transitional place and the question that is asked. So, I need to do something here. So saying that, we have this Mercury conjunction that happens, and it's a different awareness. And we need this. If you remember, when we had, it's a week and a half ago. It was on the 6th when we had the new moon in Gemini, and we had it for 3 days. We had the moon. There are 5 planetary bodies in Gemini, and it was like kaboom, like there. And then after that, it was the weekend that happened, and the moon went into Cancer. And I remember seeing on social media from certain people who are into astrology or astrologer study, and they were talking about, they're overloaded. They were mentally overloaded. Now, for me, I wasn't overloaded. I was on Sky fucking, I was flowing. I've been downloading the most amazing stuff and trying to make notes of this and trying to do something with all this. But for many people, if they're not used to working in a Gemini situation, it's an overload. And so I saw when the moon went into Cancer, pretty much from when the moon went from Gemini to Cancer, the in-between place, like people like overloaded, their nervous systems were overloaded, the communication was off. It almost felt Mercury retrograde-ish to them, that kind of thing. And so for me, I'm thinking of the next year in Jupiter in Gemini, that this is something. Now, Saturn in Pisces squares Jupiter for the first time here in August. We had it part of the new moon where Saturn... we do this. We do it because we do it. Okay, we do it like this. So basically, here's the chart. Let's just go back here. Remember, here's the new moon, right? Here's 18 degree Saturn, and here's 16 degree. Okay, so we have a square going on here. Okay, it's a map to the Jupiter and Gemini transit for the year, because Saturn and Jupiter will be squaring off for the first time in August. Does it again in December, and then does it again in different signs a year from now. We have to take note and use Saturnian something when it comes to the Jupiter and Gemini story in your chart. They kind of go hand in hand here, this mutable connection, this mutable square. So one way for me I was thinking about this, was talking about the movement between every month when the moon in Gemini happens and is going to touch Jupiter, it's going to square Saturn too. And when it does that, you have what you have to deal with in this transit. And then when it leaves and goes into Cancer, we're dealing with what we have now and what I'm talking about, from the logic to the emotional, from the transition and in-between space between Gemini and Cancer. But then as soon as the moon goes into Cancer, every month it's going to trine that Saturn in Pisces. So I'm looking at this as 5 days every month where if you're having mutable struggles with this, that you can use and look at that part of the Gemini moon that could be overwhelming for some, but know that when the Cancer moon happens, that you can remediate it and take it out of here into here, as into, what am I feeling? Now, I just took in this kind of thing that's cerebral, but did I ignore my feelings while I was doing that? What is here aligned with what I'm feeling and what keeps me safe and secure? It can take away that nervous mental energy, and we bring it down into the body using the Cancer moon. Now, the crazy thing about this is when later in the year, when Mars goes into Cancer in September and moves through really quick, and then goes into Leo into the 6th degree in September, goes retrograde for the whole winter into spring, we're doing a major Mars and Cancer retrograde. It's going to be touching this Saturnian place. And whenever the moon's going to go through, it's going to be Moon, Mars, Saturn at times, or Moon, Mars. So do we say that the next year is big Jupiter and Gemini? It is, but secretly, it's a big Cancer year coming up because of what's happening. And if you're putting together now why I'm saying this, the transition between Gemini and Cancer and what's happening this week is a clue in your chart of like what is going to happen. And after Jupiter leaves Gemini and Mars finally leaves Cancer in the spring and then goes through Leo, and by the time we get to this time next year, Jupiter then goes into Cancer. And then you get to look at your Cancer chart and see what you did to work on with all this stuff every month with the moon from Gemini to Cancer, with the Mars retrograde in Cancer, and then here comes Jupiter in Cancer, right? Thank you for listening to that. Hey, Tagia Alexander, good to see you. So thanks for going on my flow there with a long-winded whatever. So that is Mercury in Cancer comes in, and that happens at 2:06, and then basically we are, let me see if I can go pull it up really quick here. We go, let's just do it like this. Now I got to start flowing the way I do, and we will go aspect, and we go Mercury conjunct Venus, and that is at 5:42 a.m. So a lot of movement within 24 hours when we deal with Mercury and Venus and what it goes through with Neptune, and then a conjunction that happens here, right here at 0 degrees, which is the solstice point, by the way. That's the 0 degrees that we're going to hit here on Thursday when the signs transition and the solstice point into the new moon, which we will talk about because the new moon happens at 1 degree Capricorn. So you see here what's happening with these degrees, and these are cardinal degrees, and on world angles, as we call them, these are very important kind of situations when lunations happen there and ingresses happen there. We pay attention to these places. Okay, so that is what's up. That Mercury Venus conjunction is kaboom. And remember, gut instincts, your intuition, and your sensitivity to what is safe and what is secure and what is not. And if it falls off balance, what can happen in the Cancer story is a dependency on certain things. Dependency like sucking off the teat. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing can happen too on the other side of this. It's like not detaching. Or as I say, the pain cave that will happen with emotional Cancer processing is getting stuck in the pain cave and not moving through. And it depends on the person in their chart if they have these tendencies where, in a sense, they have to tend to themselves, or they're so used to someone taking care of them, or they need that connection, or they ignore themselves by constantly taking care of other people, is the tendencies that happen in the Cancer archetype. And so that's just something I have to say there, you know, that's part of the deal, okay? So anyway, safety and security. Let's go. So we're going to skip. We go moon into Sagittarius. It's going to happen on the 19th, and we're going to go to the 20th here. Okay, and I'll get to chat in a second because it's just another, God, astrology is so fascinating. There's always something in the way you could look at it, and it's the best fucking longest running TV series there is and ever will be. So we're gonna go Sun, and we're gonna go square, and then here's the final deal. We're gonna go Sun square Neptune. That happens on the 20th at 11:12 a.m. And now we hit this place. We've had Mercury and Venus scout for us already at the 29 degree for Gemini. It's already done this, what we've talked about in the stream. And now the Sun's going to do this square to Neptune. And so at this point, now the Sun is going to have its own dissolving story here. But again, we had a clue here with Venus and Mercury. And we're grateful for these scout planets for us. But yeah, this could get... now, let's say someone doesn't get the clue. Okay? Let's say someone doesn't get the clue. And they're still they don't know what world they're in, and they're kind of in their own mental delusional place of Gemini when it's off kilter. They're just running on all cylinders. They didn't eat anything. They just living on sugar for the last week and technology and just zinging and like, you know, completely spread out, mutable spread out. That here, I think the Sun, you know, you're going to see it at this point, or you're going to feel it. You're going to come out really mentally hungover if you're not catching what Mercury and what Venus has done with Neptune already. So you have something like that, and that's my version of doing that and saying that. And that happens at 11:12 a.m. the square, and it's at 1:50 p.m. That day that we have the ingress of the Sun into the Cancer birthdays right there. And here we see balance, right? You know what I mean? Hey, Dora Destroy. I noticed you in chat. But we see balance. Why am I saying balance, right? With the change of the season here, this place of what happens. And, you know, here in the Northern Hemisphere, the beginning of summertime, Southern Hemisphere, now winter's kicking in, right? And they got the equal day, equal light. We got in the Northern Hemisphere, like around this time, this week, basically, at least where I am on the West Coast, we're hitting late sunsets, right? And then after this point, it slowly starts to, let's not even talk about what it's doing, because let's just enjoy that, okay? But basically, the solstice happens here at 1:51 p.m. on the June 20th, and we are officially into the Cancer realm. Goodbye, Gemini, except for here, we're doing this. We're still doing this. It ain't going nowhere, right? And so we're doing that. And let's also make a point of something here. Let's make a point. I just want to make a shout out here to Saturn, 19 degrees, because basically, let's just do it the right way. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go, let's see if I could pick the day. There. Okay, here is the day that on June 7th, which was pretty much around the new moon, Saturn hit 19 degrees. And it's still at 19 degrees here as of the solstice. Okay? What does that tell you if you're not paying attention? Right? So here's the solstice, and here's Saturn now. It's slow. It's not moving, barely, because we're basically getting ready for at the 29th of this month, Saturn's going to station retrograde at 19 degrees. And so if you have something in Pisces at 19, or you have something immutable, Sun, Gemini, Sun, Sagittarius, whatever, this month is big, because if you have something in those degrees, Saturn is just on, it's squaring or opposite or conjunct of there, and it's a thing, and you have to know this degree in place and pay attention and make the notes of this, because down the line you're going to have to do this again. You're going to hit this spot again, and maybe again. So I make a note if you have anything like here. So anyway, stationary Saturn is happening. We're making a note, and then we go into basically the next aspect, which goes into the 21st, and it is here. We're going to have an interesting aspect this week with, I'm going to talk about something. I thought I forgot, but I'm going to get there. So here is in the morning of the 21st Pacific time, we have Mercury now basically having an interesting aspect that's, kind of moving away from Venus here, but still they're together, but making a interesting sextile to Mars. And here we haven't talked about Mars yet here in this forecast, Mars coming into Taurus, but we have water and earth lapping up against each other. As you all know, by people who watch this, know I'm into this kind of deal. I think here, in one sense, we already had minds made up in Gemini, and I say minds plural. Now we have the mind is made up here with Mercury and Cancer because of the slowdown, kind of knowing what it wants and needs. And with Mars, it's solidified. It's kind of like the intention of Mercury and Cancer of the safety and security and the emotional processing and the way we communicate in that self, from the sentimental shit to the rooted stuff to what family is, all that stuff, but how we do relationships and with the communication that's happening in relationships at this point, Mars and Taurus gives it a nice something, a nice solid, it's like held by a earthy presence, right? And we take this, right? We dig this sextile, and I think here, the transition from Gemini to Cancer here, and what happens this week, depending on how one deals with that, it's challenging or easy for them. This Mars and Mercury gives us something here to support it all. And it's one of the first major Mars aspects, right? We catch in Taurus. There's a lot more coming down the line with that planet in that sign. That is for sure. We don't want to forget when Mars is going to hit 21 degrees, by the way, when it hits the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction point, all that kind of stuff. And there's other things, but we dig this one, and that is pretty much a signature aspect that really is part officially of this. And do I have it here already? I've done a lot of charts just on my tamagachi chart. How did that happen? So, and we're gonna go to este momento right here at 6:07 p.m. on Friday, we have the full moon in Capricorn, which is at 1 degree here. And there's the sun. And here is that Mars at 9 degrees and that Mercury here. See, so that is part of the deal. So remember this about that. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Is Neptune. And I think Neptune's the player secretly this week. But there's Neptune at 29 degrees, 54 minutes. It's going to station retrograde. It's not going into Aries just yet, right? We know that. But even though they're out of sign, I think Neptune has an influence on the moon and on the sun, right? And so for me, when I was looking at this, and there's one other thing too I can take a look at here. Let's just do it. Is if you're taking in conjunct aspects. Can you hear me? I think I can't hear myself right now. I'll keep going. So let me see. There is Pluto right here, right? And so we're checking this. Pluto, if it was opposite Leo here, would be an opposition. But here, they don't see eye to eye the sun. This is an inconjunct and a quincunx. So this is hiding in the background, right? And this happened earlier in the week, too, with Mercury and Venus. I just want to point that out. I don't want to elaborate on this stuff. But for those who are into it, you make a note of this. But the biggest thing here is this. And for me, I think Neptune here has a play and influence on all this. And we want to, I think Neptune brings sensitivity to this place in the weirdest of ways. I know this is weird because this is if it was hold on. I can't. That is so weird. I can't hear myself right now, but I'm going to go for it. And you guys will tell me in chat because my mic is gone. Yes, I'm going to do it there. I think I can hear myself now. So I'll leave it this way. We're good. So anyway, I'm just looking at this kind of chart. I'm not doing the best with the full moon. I'm getting sidetracked by tech issues. But it's out of sign. So, but most importantly, I am here. I am just thinking about what Cancer and what Capricorn have in common, like I said earlier on this thread. And it has to do with safety and security and how they achieve it or how they go for it and the issues behind it. So thank you, Devin. Devin's calling out for me in chat, the Conjunct. Thank you. So this week, is it an emotional week? It is. Is it a solstice week? For sure. I think how one deals with the movement from here to your heart and to your stomach, basically, is the deal. And if you have a penchant and it flows for you, great. If not, then I would just think about what feels secure and safe for you. The other reason why I did what I did at the beginning of the stream had to do with the understanding of that in one's own particular world. And I took a chance with this because we're touchy territory with people. I mean, but I can't help but try to go to the root of something. And I think this week we can get to the root of something here when we get to the solstice or when we get to this full moon and what it means in the Cancer part of your chart and the Capricorn part of your chart. You got cardinal angles or something like that. But you got Mercury here and Mars helping you out. And Venus too. It's not that bad of a lunation, to be honest. And I'll take this one. I like it considering it's the change of season. And also for the for bringing us down from the sky that Gemini's been flying and to help us in our transition into this area for the season. I'm saying this as Gemini. Do I want Mercury and Gemini transit the last 2 more weeks? I would love it, to be honest. Do I want Venus to be there? I got Venus and Gemini. Yeah, 2 more months, please. But that's just not how it works. And in a sense, for me, it's just like, oh, wait a second. I know it's going to come back around, right? For me, I live this stuff every day, but I also know at this point in my life, it's like I need the Cancer story, and I need the place to then, after being on my wings, going from here to there and in between places, guiding people all over the fucking place because they don't know where the hell they're doing. Humans don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they need Gemini like me to go like, just go this way. Just trust me. Okay. All right. Let me just trick you to go that way. Just trust me. Now that's being a good Gemini. If I was being an evil Gemini, I'd be like, go over there. Trust me. But then I'm going to take something from you. I'm going to steal something from you. So it's not how I roll, but it's like, what I do know is you got to get out of here and come into somewhere else. The interesting thing about Cancer is like, and you've heard this, it's like, you're gonna get a cardinal directness once I think Cancer feels they're in the right place. Then they'll get at things. They're a cardinal sign in the end. So it's like, they'll get at it. They'll do their thing. But I think a lot of times it's their awareness of the pincers of the crab, of knowing where one can go to feel safe, or the retraction that happens into the shell to feel in a safe, grounded place in order to go do something next, or to go just move. So we need this, and that in that retraction that happens, and that in a sense, retraction's protective, but at the same time, once secured, then you're receptive. Then one can get into their feeling space and understand that, and get into places of processing and moving through. So I think this week is huge and important in that sense, and it happens every year. It just so happens at that the way the planets and what we've had with Jupiter and Gemini and this new moon and stuff, just the intensity of this. And what we go into here is could be shocking for some. I welcome it, right? I welcome it. And so for me in my own personal world, and for you, it's like, yeah, we go back to the past, and we the story of what that is in your own chart, the Cancer part of your chart, and the Capricorn, let's say, and this gets into other shit, right? About like mother, father, or parental stuff, or like how one was raised, or what was secure and what wasn't, if there was any security, right? And so we're dealing with deep ass shit here, but me, I roll this way, and again, let's say you're on the journey of this, you don't have to do it completely alone, and there's tools and situations and other people that we have help us with this type of thing, right? And I definitely have brought in tools into my world, but I'm really noticing it this year. I'm really noticing it, and I feel that this is sort of a side. Hey Sarah, I see you in chat. I just want to acknowledge you, but I think this is a side. What do they call it? It's a DLC, or it's a side quest. For the year when we get into the Jupiter and Cancer world next year. And so for here, again, me, I work on maps and the tying in of a story in a string, but I just couldn't help think about it this whole week during my birthday and during everything else of what this is. And, of this, I think to I feel, right? And anyway, this Capricorn full moon that happens is pretty big deal. I also will also say to this that Jendy says something about internal family systems here, and I got to try to remember that because I could say something to that. But no wonder I was doing this like this. But again, we've had Venus and Mercury hit the 1 and the 0 and 1 degree this week at the beginning of the week, pretty much as I'm doing this stream in the next 48 hours, okay? So in one sense, we're hitting solstice vibes already. And then we have this moment here. I didn't feel like I did the best job with this. Wait a second. There's just something on my mind. 24 to 5. That was the 24th, the eclipse, the lunar. That was That was 19 degrees cardinal. Here is 10 degrees eclipse on October 2nd, 2024. Here is the last, here's the last eclipse in the cycle at 9 degrees next spring. I was wondering about something, but it's not there. So, yeah. Well, sort of there. I have to think on that. That's why I go live. I like to just be whatever. When I mess up or a tangent, I don't know everything. I do it in front of, through all of you. I don't, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I know you make your own connections. But I just make a note here personally for me. I have to research something for another stream. And I'm being cryptic, and that's part of being on the stream is my cryptic shit. I want to do this. I want to go here now to this particular thing here that happens here on the 22nd then is 6:12 p.m. I think to end this week is in at least the week here, we get into more mercurial whatever. And here's Mercury now, 12 degrees. Notice in a week how fucking fast it's moving, okay? So here it is, and we are here at the node. That's what I think I was thinking cardinal something here is what I was. I wasn't, it's just kind of messing with me. But here we have Mercury in Cancer now squaring the north node. Now, this touches upon eclipse story depending on who you are. And the node getting hit here by Mercury, this is pretty caustic actually. I think here with the aggressiveness of Aries and what it's done with the North Node and how it's been chopping at the bit and going and doing what it has to do without thinking, doing, instinct, no Libra half-assing, trying to decide over shit. And then we have Mars and Taurus here, you know, it again, some help that's happened from the full moon with their sextile and it's getting carried. But we do have this square to the node. And I personally think this is where the sensitivity of Mercury in Cancer, you know, it's emotional here, and the causticness and the aggressiveness that can happen with Aries, we squares off. Now the key is, I think, is does Mercury in Cancer pinch attack because of defending its emotional body? Right? Is it like that? Or is it like it's wide open, sensitive, and, you know, hitting the node, the eclipse story? And I only think this works for certain people, not for everybody. But I think if you were affected by the eclipse story and continue to be, that I think this can be a thing, and you need to pay attention to this. So there it is. Could be coming at as for protection with the word right at the north node, or the north node is exposing. The cool thing about all this is that Mars is the one kind of connects with this, and we've had this connection. I just got to point it out. I think it's a more what's the word? Not precise, but more individualistic chart thing. So if you got something at these degrees, or if you've had a nodal story going on with Aries and Libra and that type of shit that's been going on since 15 degrees or with 19 degree eclipse point and all this stuff, we pay attention. And we also know then while Mercury eventually is going to hit this Chiron story too. And we know Venus is going to do the same thing. But I'm not going to go any forward than that because I want to end it this way. Then I'm going to look at chat. I'm going to end it this way. What I like to always point out, and this happens on the 23rd, and basically I will do it here by, see, where am I? Where's the moon? No, Nicholas, why did you do it that way? I always like to let you see what I'm doing. Here on the 23rd, which is next Sunday, at least for most of us, we have the moon enter into Aquarius. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, we're going to get to that in a second. You know that every moon, Pluto, and Aquarius, I do an audio note to my Instagram group on there where I have some thoughts about this. And you know my thoughts, they go back to another place, another something here every time we do this, right? Every time, right? Is the vows that were made. And the vows that were made on my channel with you and I in the beginning of this Pluto and Aquarius story when all the planets came through at 0 degrees is a reminder that you're talented enough. I trust it. I trust myself. I'm prepared. Whatever order you want to use right there, by the way. I'm talented enough. And the Pluto story. I made a vow at Hades to go through the underworld for 20 damn effing years in the Aquarius part of my chart. And here comes the vows. Here comes the system. Here comes the scientific lab that you need to be in when you take a look at this stuff. And you have to remember, for your autonomy, for your movement forward, because soon we're going to meet in the virtual and in-person town squares because we're collectively going to come together by taking care of ourselves and giving our freedom to our autonomy and to evolve to be who we are, to what we are, to give us the freedom to do that. That we got to remember that I'm not only am I talented enough, I trust my talent, I trust what I effing do. My new thing, my creativity, anything, wherever Aquarius is in the part of your chart. And I'm prepared. Prepared for what? You're preparing. You're preparing for us and whoever you don't even know out there to get together these talents that we have and the movement we're about to do, the movement we're doing now. We're starting with ourselves, but the movement that is coming. I'm going to show you something. This chart is May 1st, 2028. I put it for Chicago, Illinois. I don't know why I did, but I did. Here's Uranus, 8 degrees Gemini. This is 2028. We're 4 years from now. Here's Pluto, 8 degrees Aquarius. We got an exact trine happening here. Look at good old Mercury coming in at 0 degrees that day. Mars and Saturn conjunction. Get the job done. Squaring Pluto. Sean Fain, president of the UAW, has been preaching now for the last whatever. You know some of my connection to this. I'm slowly working on some things to do videos on just certain things. I should like to get his birth time, but beyond that, the big auto workers, the big three, and him leading them are, you know, they're, if you haven't noticed, they're slowly working on different unions in this country, or unionizing, or they're in a long battle. When they had their last contracts made, the big three, they specifically asked on the last contract run that the contract was going to end the day before this May 1st, 28, the last day of April, their contracts end. And they did it specifically on purpose because they're building for the biggest general strike that this country's ever seen. And I am of the opinion, along with many other people, we weren't waiting for this, but it takes time to do this. Regardless of what happens in the presidential election this year and think about this. There's going to be another one around that time. Regardless of what happens, it's the vehicle is through, and they're using it through the labor movement, which it's a class issue. It's an economics issue, which we all know does not take away gender and race issue. This is all intertwined. You wonder. I don't wonder anymore why I would say, am I talented enough? Am I prepared? I trust myself. Now, I'm not running some cult here. But many of us already know instinctually. Everything that changes that we want, it doesn't matter who becomes president a lot of times, or the entrenched things. It's wild. It's like it's gotten to a point, into a breaking point. What is the breaking point? You could think about all different ways of doing this. But for me, from a production level, like a producing, from a connectiveness level, there is something building here that is amazing. And there's going to be some tough moments along the way just to even get to this place. But it's going to happen. And I'll see you. I'll see you in places like this. And you remember the vows that you made to yourself because of what you inherently deserve. Your basic human rights. To eat, to be afforded to eat, to lay your head down for you and your family, a medical care that doesn't, you know what I mean? People working 2-3 jobs, barely doing anything just to get that. They can't even get that. They're getting scammed. And we all know who's making more monies. And we all see the separation that's been happening. And this goes beyond political party, even though they don't even know it yet. But for us who do, we go to places like this. We go to major fundamental places where we got a Pluto-Uranus trine. And it's all the transits along the way to this point. You wonder about an eclipse story in Aries and what's happening now? Maybe some of the things are born out of that come to a place like this. This Neptune sextiling with Pluto. And the Uranus. I am a dreamer. I don't give an F anymore, and I haven't for a long time. But I'm not just thinking of myself. Am I thinking of myself right now when it comes to the Aquarius of VOWS or whatever it is for you? But at some point, when you're working on yourself, you find yourself. You might think you're alone, but you're not. And you find yourself, after working on your talents and trusting your talents and having all this stuff, you get to places. You get to places where you're not alone, that you find your crew, you find your people, whether it's this day, it's creativity, it's something, and it's to be free, and it's to fight for what is yours and what inherently belongs to you as a human being, to be happy, right? So I'm all in. And it's something I've been thinking about this week. And so, you all didn't expect this. I throw this, I listen, every time I stream, I lose people. And I love it. And if you're new here watching here, you know already that I'm not running the way the rest of them are running. And I know some of the rest of them. I'm cool with them. You do you. I do me. Hit the subscribe button. Do what you got to do. But no. You know where how my heart's running. I'm not just thinking of myself. I'm thinking of something else. But first, there's just certain things, Go back. I got to take care of certain things. First, go deep and tend to things. So when I'm out there, down the line with y'all, somos juntos. Nebula, see you in chat. What's up? Fearless here. I'm fearless. Lilac Tree's been in this chat along with Mystic Gardener. Oh, Mystic Gardener is bringing up IFS again. I see. That's what's up. That's what's up. Looks like we're going to get Tamagotchis. Shit like that. All right. Let me end my stream. I'm at 1 hour and 40 minutes. I usually end it. Man, my headphone issues are wild right now. I'm just trusting that this is all working. I can't hear myself. Let me see. There, it's going to be like that. That's still working. Okay. All right. So let me do a couple things here. I still have my Gemini special up. You got anything in Gemini, get a hold of me. You see in the link in the chat, it's right there. I got my booking. I'm going to end it in probably the next 24 to 36 hours. All right. That's what's going on there. Here's more Tamagotchis. Here is an amazing link I'm going to put up that has to do with what I've been talking about today. I don't know if you follow Therapy Jeff. Therapy Jeff on IG. Let's zoom him in. I think I could. Oh, yeah, I'm figuring this out. This is an amazing video. I'm going to throw it in chat, but he's like talking about the past. This came up today. It was beautiful. You know, if you can, I wish you can hear this. I got to figure out how to route audio, but I'm going to throw this in the chat, but he's basically saying like, here, let's just do it. Let's just refresh. I'll show you. Like, he said, you didn't do anything wrong as a kid. He says, just as a reminder that you didn't do anything wrong as a kid. When you were acting or reacting like a normal shit kid, children are supposed to be loud, curious, messy, and emotional. And yes, even defiant, he says. There is not misbehavior. There is developmentally appropriate behavior. You don't need to apologize to a parent or a caregiver for behaving in a way that was entirely natural and expected for your age. If you were made to feel guilty for being a child, fuck them. That's not on them, not on you. That's on them, not you. They should have been the ones adapting, understanding, and guiding you through childhood. Not making you feel like you're a problem to be managed and that you should feel like shit. Give me a fucking break, he says. Expecting children to act like many adults is not just unreasonable, but it's traumatizing. You deserve patience, love, understanding, not guilt. Shame and punishment. That's all. That's what he says, dude. Is really timely when I saw this morning because I already had what I wanted to talk about this stream in the beginning. It was brilliant, and he doesn't know astrology that I know that Venus is going into Cancer, Mercury's going into Cancer, but I thought this was really good, and I wanted to make sure I shared this with you all. He's a funny dude. I think he's out of Portland. And you know, it goes to how I started the stream, what I was talking about today. You know, so I thought I'd leave that one with you there, you know. There's the link in the chat. All right, what else before I leave? Thanks for hanging with me here. We're going to do this. Hey, there's me. There's the stream. There's the something I have. And there is something right here. There's a new button on my page. And I took a chance here. And basically, this is what I did during Mercury's Sun yesterday. Was I opened up memberships to my channel. And I sort of did it with a sort of not a plan. And I am 89 subscribers away from 3,000. Can I do it in 15 days? I have to do some good videos. I have something I'm working on right now, a quick interview thing that you all are going to like. It's coming down the line. I'm going for 3,000 by the end of this month. I opened up memberships to my channel. It's just there. You don't have to do it. I also have a Patreon. At some point, I have to decide, do I combine the two? Does it lead to something? Do I have memberships? I don't know, but I had a strong feeling this week. Just open up the memberships on your YouTube. I think this one tier I have is $4.99 a month. If I do this, whoever joins, I'm going to do live streams just for memberships only. They're different, or do whatever, or I do them and then I put them out publicly. I don't know exactly yet, but my intentions are honestly, I'm on a business point of view, have to think about things on a revenue sense for me, because I'm not doing classes yet. If I do that, I'm not doing webinars out there. I don't know if I ever do that, and these are fucking weirdo webinars as they are. But for me, I have to take care of myself. This has to do with my Gemini Cancer thinking and the year that I'm having perfection-wise and a lot of stuff. So, but it's time. I wanted to open up the memberships to my channel when I had 6,000 subscribers, but I thought I'd do it during Mercury Sun, and I can always turn it off. And there's things I'm going to slowly work on for that. But there are going to be some private interactions for the members of this channel. But for the most part, you know me. I do things spontaneously most of the time. This I planned an hour or 24 hours in advance. But I'm just casting a line out there, and I have to think about things for bigger reasons, because for me, in order to keep doing this, basically, I love doing this shit and coming up with my weird ideas, and I have a whole long list of weird stuff I need to do on this channel before I'm 6 feet under into ashes or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't happen until 50 years from now. Wait, it's like 50. Oh, that's a long time living. So the more freedom I have for my creativity, the happier I will be, the better astrological consultant I will be. And I get to do some shit. So it's in stages. So finances are a thing. Again, it's $5 a month. If I get another thing, maybe I do tiers. Maybe it's $2 a month just to help the $5 get whatever. I don't know yet, but I'm going for it. The more freedom I have, where I don't have to do other things to acquire resources or whatever, it gives me more openness, freedom to take care of myself, to relax, to walk amongst nature, to do other things in life. And that feeds what I do here as me, Nicholas, an astrologer, human being. It feeds me, and I get to do more of me here, which I don't think you all understand. You're only getting this much of me. There is so much more here with the ideas and everything else. So that is my little thing to you all, and that's what's up. For those who have, you don't have to do anything, but those who have super chatted me in the last 2 years or in the last month, thank you. Do whatever you want. Or those who don't, by subscribing to my channel, sharing stuff, that helps me too. I'm confident in the long haul, the long game. So saying that, I see a super chat. I see a super chat popping up in here by the Lilac Tree, which is such a great name, by the way. Lilacs are beautiful. Thank you, Lilac Tree, for your super chat donation. And just so you know, the thing about YouTube with anything financial, they take 30%, I get 70%. It's not the best because there's other formats outside of YouTube, but most of my energy and juice happens here, and so that's why I'm going for this. And there's other things I'm going to add to this here that are going to come along with the channel. So, and saying that, Jendi just subscribed to my channel saying, Jendi, welcome, and it says, welcome to Secret Sparks 1. That's what I called it. Thank you, Jendi. If you notice, next to Jendi's name is a star. And that will be changing because I'll be doing custom emoji sets for the people. So when you're a subscriber, you can have this stuff that's on Twitch is moving over to YouTube. That's the deal. Eva Alta, I see you in chat. I just want to say what's up. That's what's going on. So I opened up subscriptions. And that is kind of me right there with Neptune and Venus on the wings and Mercury. You could see what I was doing with the artwork with Capricorn on one hand, opposite, Cancer on the other. Saturn there really lurking, and with Hermes holding the solstice image with tears falling. And we're back. We're back to how we started. And how did we start? No, I have one more thing to do, okay? Hold on. let's do it. And then I will get out of here. I need to eat and go for a long walk and take care of myself. And that is my new thing. I'm trying to regimentally take care of myself in a deeper way here because I am called to now. It's time. I moved. I'm getting stuff out of boxes. Just new gear. I got a teleprompter. There's all these weird things I'm doing, and I need time to do it. And if I'm always rushed, it's not going to happen. And I could dedicate something. And we're going to open something right now. We're going to do this. And so I'm going to showcase a pal of mine. And this is something I haven't opened up yet that I got in person at Norwalk, even though I was on the Kickstarter. And I actually, with some other people secretly, helped a little bit of just kind of what they wrote, the book to this oracle. It's called the Microcosmic Oracle. I have this t-shirt too, by the way. Created by Julia Y. I'm going to throw the link in there. And we're going to pull something on this to end the stream. Scorpio Muse with thank you. Just joined with welcome to Secret Sparks 1. Thank you. Shit. All right. Cool. There is. Thank you, Scorpio Muse. Thank you. I just found an emoji maker. I'm going to work on this week some emojis. I don't know what I'm going to come up with, but they're going to be there. So thank you for doing that. And yeah, cool. So let's do this. Let's pull something out of here. Let's open up the box. Let me do something here too to set this up. I can't wait to eat. Whoa, everything's magnified. Julia, there it is. I'm gonna put this here. There's Julia. She's out of Seattle. I'm gonna drop this in chat. Oh, my doll, thank you. Here, let me. And you guys. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, man, you guys. Yellow, too. That's some Gemini stuff right there. Thank you. Good to see you, by the way. And thank you for the support. Thank you so much. And I haven't even looked to see how many people are on this stream. I haven't even looked the whole time. Let me see. Okay, I think it's rolling still. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. In a sense, helps me pay for these cards that I got. But there's Julia right there. You can see her links. She's starting to pull cards on her stream. She's an amazing artist. Like all the imagery that you're going to see, I'm going to pull a card up you're going to see. She did. And she also wrote the book that accompanied this. And it's interesting, her point of view of how she dealt with the planets and signs. And there was actually some of us behind the scenes at Nowhere that kind of had a little bit of a look at the editing and go, oh, maybe do this or that for that meaning of this. But she wrote it all. She did it all. So I want to showcase her because I want, me, I always showcase somebody on this stream. And there she is. So let's pull a card. I threw that in chat. Say what's up to her, buy a deck or the t-shirts. Pacific Northwest, she travels all over and does these fairs where she's selling her t-shirts and gear. I just bought this other t-shirt. I wonder if it's on here. Hey, Johnny Newton, I see you in chat. Welcome. There she is there. But you could see her artwork here that's on, and it has the glyphs and stuff, and it's on the cards. So, all right, come on. I got to stop messing around here. Let's do it. Let's pull out. Let's do it. Let's see. I haven't even opened this thing up yet. How do I open this? Is it one of these things that I'm not figuring? Oh, there it is. All right. So it looks like there's the book, right? Oh, look, it's got an owl on the front. And then here's the cards. Look at the inside. That inside's pretty cool, isn't it? Huh. Oh, check this out. Oh, that's wild. I wonder why she chose this. But you could see, like, you got the elemental stuff that she put there. So it was like Aries and Taurus, and then you see Gemini in the other corner and Scorpio, but she basically has the elemental glyphs right there, right? And then, like, kind of the rest of the signs moving through. Oh, that's interesting how she did that. And then let's do a card here. And here's here is I picked this up at Norwalk in a t-shirt from her, and I actually have a couple other t-shirts. But here's the card. Here's the it's beautiful. Yeah, good job. I'm just gonna pick. I'm just gonna pick here. And so we're not gonna see what I'm doing because I'm not gonna see. So I just go look at this. So I'll pick right there. Let's go. I won't look. And from Gemini to Cancer, from here to there, my mind to my stomach. From Gemini to Cancer. Ah. I gotta get this camera. Why is it? Oh, that's why. This is the Venus in Virgo card. It says sovereignty. Venus in Virgo. Eve Alta Travels, thank you for the membership. Jump in on here. Along with Wake Me From This. Thank you so much. Yes, I knew. I had a feeling about this. So thank you for jumping in. Again, I don't want to. People don't want to. They don't want to. It just is what it is. But I thank you for doing that. Okay, just cool. Let's go. Let's go back to this. Let's see there and let's read what this is. That's like a moose. I like this. Wonder why she picked this. Actually interesting. I don't know if you could catch this, but this is going to be really hard to do. But you could see here, like in the book there, it's like, this is, I'm going to out here, but this is a total Virgo person, by the way, who made these cards. It's funny that I picked Venus and Virgo, but this is a Virgo person. You could see this already. So anyway, I got to get a hold of Virgo. I'm on your stream. I'm just laughing about the little details of our friend. So let's do this. Let's read this. Sovereignty. Animal, moose, elk, plant, spruce tree, element earth, number 6, interpretation, autonomy, self-love, integrity, choosing time alone, discernment, and relationships. She also has reversed meanings, but she wrote Virgo means virgin in Greek, which refers not to chastity, but to being a person who's independent and complete on their own. Venus in Virgo has a high relationship standards and believes that partnerships should enrich the lives of everyone involved. They don't need others to feel whole and may choose to remain single rather than settle for someone who doesn't meet their criteria. Society often portrays romantic relationships as the only way to achieve happiness, but the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. There's, to quote RuPaul, they got a RuPaul quote, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Then she has animal symbolism and the botanical symbolism. Spruce trees, right? That was mentioned. Okay. And then, yeah, that's it, man. Right on. Julia. And look at the back here. She's got like these, like base core quick delineations, right? In the back. What else? Yeah, she goes through each thumb. And there's like a thank you and some pictures about her in the end. And she's got, some interpretation tips and consulting your birth chart. And she's kind of, references people how to use the cards, so on and so forth. Yeah, good job, Julia. I'm friends with her, but there it is. All right. My Aquarius moon and all that's always in play on this stream. I'm always thinking about other people and supporting other people. You could... So you could see here. Not doing the best job here. Wait. This one there, that one's cool. What is that? That's Aquarius. Ooh, man, that's a Capricorn. Moon in Capricorn. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. And then Let me see this one right here. Ooh, what is that right there? Moon and Sag. Wow. That's a trip. Oh, man. Look at our Moon and Scorpios with the bat. Intensity. Oh, yeah. I guess that's a word for Moon and Scorpio. Intensity. That's one word. Don't cross those people, though. You won't forget. So anyway, so that's what's up. And let's do this. It's time for me to go. Okay, I've done enough. I'm 2 hours into a stream, and it's time for me to be done. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in and rolling with me, because you roll. That's what you do. Thanks for the super chats, for the membership joins. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing. Please go support anybody. I'm on this. You go to my past videos. I'm talking about other people's books, other people's coasters and buttons, and go support people. It's not just me, you know. You know me. I'm usually promoting people that are small business, you know, and they're doing the grind like the rest of us. But we support that. That's all part of. It's not just a general strike, you know, in 4 years. It's about that too, if you can and if you cannot, and you don't have the cash to do whatever. Totally get it. Totally get it. I hope you get something from these streams. Are you not entertained? Hope you get that, all right? Listen, I on my YouTube community page yesterday, I also posted Gray Crawford did his first live stream yesterday, you know, he's trying to do it. We all know Gray. He did a really good stream yesterday. Go subscribe, go like his stuff, and go to the comments. You tell him that Sparkle sent you. You know what I'm saying? You came with wings and they were golden. And you drop that comment down there and go support Gray. He did a great informational stream yesterday, like he does. He's Mercury and Pisces, so he just goes on his thing. Gemini rising. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So I'm gonna get some food and let's roll out. Let's roll out the way we came in. Okay, let's do this. And Well, yeah, I trust myself to do this. I mean, I do. And what is it, actually? I mean, did I answer this question? Did I answer this question for myself? What am I feeling after this week, my birthday, the good things that happened to me, my family? So, I mean, there's those that I wasn't able to connect with that I think about, and I think good things regardless. And I sent you a message, you know, I sent my heart. It's like, I hope you're good, you're well, for those I couldn't see. What is it being a Gemini, my life? If I didn't have my Taurus rising and stuff, what the hell? I don't think my feet wouldn't be on the ground. After these last so many weeks in Gemini, what the fuck what am I feeling? Feeling hungry. I feel content. I feel okay. I'm all right. They say the home is on the road for a person like me. That home is in the in-between places. Everywhere and nowhere. My home is where my heart is. And when I put my hand on my heart and I feel the rhythm and the beating, And at some points this week, when the hand was on my heart, I felt sad, and the tears flowed. And later in the day, I was feeling pretty good because the tears flowed. And when the birthday card was open, the past flowed. And I went back to my young self. And the tears flowed. And I felt better. I wasn't running from here to there. I was just ran back to myself. It just took a hand on my heart and a photograph. And I told myself, you did good. You're doing good. You got it. You can handle it. You've been handling it. On my walk after the tears, I saw the blue sky. Where I usually am. Where I'm usually flowing. But looking up at the sky from a grounded place and from a rooted place, I realized again that I need both. I need the earth and the sky. And while I'm on earth, I get to dream about the sky. And I'm in the sky, I get to follow my dream. Go back. Go back to your earliest memory as a child. Acknowledge, greet, hug that person. Take care of that person. Nurture that person.